if we look at the root cause of issues that students have that put them at risk for safety and security, what's the one thing that you would say is the root cause of these issues?
Alcohol. Hands down. Alcohol.
Alcohol. And cell phones.
You can you can look on our reports for people that are either perpetrators or victims. Most of the time, one or the other or both have consumed alcohol and resulted in whatever happened. So.
Our students?
I've never had a problem with a sober student walking them home. I can't say for the same for students who appeared to not be intoxicated when they first walked up, but you quickly realize that they are not in a sober frame of mind.
I would definitely say alcohol. I totally agree.
Calvin?
I'm trying to think of something outside the box, but alcohol is a major issue.
I know our camera isn't going to be able to see these folks in their chairs, but I'm just going to hand them the microphone and give them an opportunity to say anything different.
Can't go with the flow, against the flow, but it's overconsumption of alcohol.
At the risk of not being popular, I'm going to say something different. Because in counseling and wellness, we're looking at then the root cause of what it is that causes someone to overconsume alcohol. And we're trying to see the university community as a microcosm of our greater society. And I believe that all of you know that we're moving faster and faster, and that with that fast pace comes a lot of gifts, but also comes some things that hold you back or disconnect you to some degree. I think, I even experienced this with my partner at home. I'll come into the room, and then I'll realize I didn't get a glass of water, so I'll go back to get a glass of water, and I come back in, and instead of even watching the TV, she's Facebooking, and she's telling me about the new thing that happened with the neighbor and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not against Facebook, but I can feel the disconnection even with her in the family at that point. I'm not, by any stretch of the imagination, trying to say that I'm a Luddite, because I'm not. I love technology, and I'm completely plugged in. But I do believe as a culture, we're going to have to look at how we are going to adapt ourselves so that we don't lose connection with each other and our own moral center and our sense of spirituality, so that we stay present and in touch, not only with each other, but with ourselves, so that we're not then drawn to something to disconnect us, to sort of make us numb out for a brief period of time, whether that's a video game, internet pornography, drugs, alcohol, overeating, binging, purging, you name it. We all have ways that we disconnect so that we can feel somehow down for a period of time in a very fast-paced and on 24/7 society. So I don't have the answer to this, but I can tell you that this is part of what we're looking at as we begin to look at these issues of the theme teams that that Vice Chancellor Crisp talked about with health, safety, wellness, and resiliency. What is it more than just the issue of alcohol? What is causing that issue? And what is causing the issue of interpersonal violence? And what is it that's leading people to not have a sense of community? So, for whatever that's worth.
Well, and of course in the residence halls, there's 2 points that I would like to make. And one is, yes, we have our fair share of alcohol, medical transports related and overconsumption. But one of the things that we're really seeing arise in is also the interpersonal violence and domestic violence situations between our students. And some of the root causes when we work with the students and actually have the conversations is its inability to communicate effectively with each other. And those can also you can stretch that out to roommate conflicts and things like that. To touch on the University of Texas and the response protocol, I also sit on the EEAC. And over the last 3 years, in housing, we employ over 250 undergraduate students to serve in the RA position, and we have 17 master's level professionals who live in our communities. And we have really emphasized the philosophy of community immersion to make sure that we are having students connected to the resources in our staff. And we have seen a tremendous rise in them seeking out their peer leadership in their RAs to bring some of these issues to the attention of the other professionals. So I just wanted to give a shout out to your sons and daughters, and then encourage to continue them communicating with the resources that we've trained and have at their disposal.
I'm going to take one more question.
Dr. Payne, can I
Yes.
add one thing to that? I know
Please.
that we've talked about alcohol, and all of us went down the line, but there's a little bit of simplicity to that. I want to address one more thing real quick, and that's situational awareness or the lack thereof. I know public safety is working closely with a group right now that is been contracted to work with Moorhead Kane scholars to teach them how to protect themselves when they go abroad. And they also teach the president how to stay safe, and how the generals and soldiers and people like that you would think normally are trained to be situationally aware. What happens, and they find out, that is when these people come back from duty, they'll get on a motorcycle or something like that, and all that situational awareness goes, and a lot of soldiers are being killed on motorcycles. So what does that relate to the campus? They approached us to work with them in developing a video, because they believe that situational awareness, or lack thereof, is a problem at the university as well. And that's why I said jokingly a minute ago, and I actually meant it that way, but now that I think about it, it's very serious. The alcohol helps take away any situational awareness discipline that you may have put into them. Now, my kids, I had my daughter graduate from Appalachian, my son just graduated from ECU, and they grew up in my business for hearing me for 36 years, and so they went to school with a degree of it. But my son won't talk about it, but if he had been participating a lot in alcohol, whatever I told him would have gone. So it reduces that situational awareness. And when you see, if you come to campus any daytime, walking across Manning Drive, walking through the campus at night, you will see the students occupied completely with earbuds in and their cell phones down. They're not aware of who's lurking behind them. They're not aware of any of that. And so one of the biggest challenges we've got, and this is where we could also use some help, is that emphasis on situational awareness. Be aware of what's going on around you. And you can't do it if you're drunk, and you can't do it if you've got you're talking on your cell phone, or either faking that you're talking on your cell phone, or whatever it may be. In other words, that's a major theme that I think that we could teach a course on situational awareness at students, and it would be a phenomenal, to the parents, it would be phenomenally popular. I don't know about the students. But when I talked to these guys that were putting this program on, I said, just wait till the parents find out about this, because they're going to want it, and I'd pay you dearly to teach my kids this. It's a little deeper than the alcohol problem. Thought I'd just share that.